6 o'clock Central Standard Time. This is regular city council meeting for Monday, December the 16th, year 2013, Jasper City Hall, 465 South Main Street. Let the record show that all members of the Jasper City Council are here except for Mr. Scott. Hazel, would you lead us in a word of prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings, dear Father, and your opportunity to meet here in the freedom, Lord. We ask, Lord, that you guide us and direct us in this meeting, that all decisions made will be pleasing to you, dear Lord. These things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
I don't have any. Was there any request for public comment back there?
No, sir.
Okay, then we move on to the informational items for the Jasper City Council members.
Sir, did you sign a request?
I did, but I didn't know if that was now or right before the item number 10, which is the ballpark issue.
Generally, we do it up front. Go ahead and come forward, though. Well, wait a minute.
Well,
Didn't you not send a letter to me? Or did I see a request from you to speak on the agenda for the ballpark?
I talked to you, Mike.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
item
Okay,
10.
he's
He's on the agenda.
Oh, Charlotte Runway, we'll talk to you when we get to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Departmental reports and information for our city council members. Okay, is there any questions about any of the departmental reports or any comments that the council would like to make to the members of the city staff? Okay, we have up next then, item number 1, consider approval for 3 sets of minutes. Special call city council meeting and public hearing, November the 8th, 2013. Regular city council meeting, November 19th, 2013. Special call city council meeting for November the 25th, 2013.
Motion to approve with the necessary corrections for the minutes on November the 8th, I think it is.
Okay, what is those corrections, sir?
It's for the first paragraph which says, move to approve resolution. It doesn't matter who moves to approve the resolutions.
Okay.
Those 2 paragraphs.
Okay, motion to approve resolution number 29 to participate in tax abatement group, second by City Council Member Hazel Johnson. Motion carried unanimously. Who made that motion? Do you remember?
I'm thinking I might have, because it seemed like I did on both of those, I think.
Would the city secretary, do you remember, recall that?
I can play back the recording.
Okay, do you want to
Incorrect.
hold up then we do not have to approve those minutes at this meeting, we can approve them at the next meeting.
That's correct.
Do you want us, would you withdraw your, well, we don't have a second on the motion, so if we don't receive a second, then we will just table that to the next item, our next agenda. Is that okay
That'd be
with this
fine.
council? Okay, we have up next, consider the yearly request from Texas, let's see what just a minute here. I think what we want to do.
You need to approve the regular council meeting.
Well, we could do them all. Do you want to just, do we have a motion to approve the meeting November the 19th, 2013, and special call city council meeting November the 25th, 2013?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let the record show that those city council meetings, November 19th and November the 25th, have been approved, and we will table that other item for a correction by the city's secretary. We're going to skip down to, I'm going to do a little mayor action here. We're going to skip down to executive session. Items for discussion and or action. It is pursued, it's executive. We're going to discuss the Jasper Youth Baseball Association, and then we're possibly going to have an executive session to determine or discuss that with the city's legal counsel concerning the acquisition of real property from the Jasper Youth Baseball Association, since we have so many people in that organization here tonight. We'll jump down and do that and let you all. Mr. Stover, would you like to come forward?
Thank you, Mayor Lau. My name is Scott Stover, and ladies and gentlemen of the City Council, I appreciate you seeing me here tonight. I'd like to talk to y'all for a few minutes about what Jasper Youth Baseball Association is and what we were proposing in our proposal. And at the conclusion, I would like to answer any questions that y'all might have regarding the proposal, because I think there was some confusion about it. The Jasper Youth Baseball Association, first off, it's a misnomer. It's actually a baseball and softball organization, because those are the two programs that we run. It was started in 1960 by citizens of Jasper, Texas, who were concerned that our youth didn't have programs and activities for them to do. They acquired some land, which is behind Modica Brothers off of Highway 96. It started with a 23.28 acre tract of land. We have acquired some use of land from the Lions Club, another 3 acres. And then there's a 5.77 acre tract of land that we lease. So it's a total of about 33 to 35 acre tract over there. They have operated baseball and softball activities for youth every year for 53 years as of 2013. We have softball field, 2 t-ball and coach pitch fields, and 3 baseball fields, 2 batting cages, storage building, 2 concession stands, and 2 restroom facilities, all of which have been built and constructed and the money raised for strictly through the citizens of Jasper pitching in and coming together to create this ballpark. It is the host location for the Jasper Independent School District high school field and softball field, so that when people come to Jasper to go and attend one of our school baseball or softball games, that is what they see. They come into our ballpark and they participate there, and it's really good because our youth, when they're playing their games, afterwards they go and they attend these games and get to see the higher level of competition. We have huge public support for this program in the city of Jasper. Just this last year, over 53 different businesses in this community were our sponsors. They sponsored at various levels 53 different organizations, and 147 adults in this community volunteered to work in our programs this year. And not only that, underwent background checks. Okay, so that's 147 different people that came together and said, this is important enough to me, took a background check, and then helped either as a coach or an assistant coach or a dugout mom or a dugout dad or a concession worker or whatever it was that we needed, and helped get it done this year. The cost to a child is about $70, and out of that we use, to buy uniforms and equipment and utilities and maintenance. And if kids can't afford it, we provide scholarships for them so they can play. And my personal knowledge, I've never known a child not to play because they couldn't afford to do so. It is the dominant Little League program in our area. We beat the stuffing out of Beaumont and Duna and all the other teams that we play around here on a regular basis. And we go and play at the next level, and we even go to the state tournaments and compete against the big city boys. And we do very well. After our regular season, we lease out our fields, and people play softball and rag ball and Little League tournaments and softball tournaments there year-round. There'll be people up there at 3 o'clock in the morning playing rag ball tournaments pretty much any weekend you go during the summer. In my opinion, this is the largest, longest running, and best youth program in the city of Jasper, and that's why I volunteer and participate in it, because it's good for the kids. This program is very important to us and to people of our community. It's a very healthy organization. We had over 457 children enroll and play games at that facility this year. They played over 390 games of youth athletics at the field during our regular season, and then postseason we don't have those numbers. Our annual budget is $75,000. That's how much money we raise and then spend on the city of Jasper children every year, $75,000. And it's all very well spent. However, we have outgrown our space, okay? We're bigger than that park allows us to be. More kids want to come here than we can help. And we run short of fields, and we have to run games on Saturdays when we don't want to. and later in the evening than we want to, and use fields that aren't specifically tailored for that type of game because we're out of space. And the facility is essentially the same now as when I was a little kid and I played out there. The same chain link, the same dugouts, everything's the same as it was when I was a kid, and that's long ago. However, as good as JYBA has done providing this for the kids, there are things we can't do. We can't afford because we can't raise enough money to afford to buy more land, to build more fields, to build new bleachers and fencing, to put up those new light poles with the metal pilings that everybody's required to have pretty much, to build a clubhouse building, to provide fields for other types of sports such as soccer and football, jogging tracks, and especially parking. Parking lots are extremely expensive to have paved parking, and we're very critically short on those. And I just think to myself, wouldn't it be great for our kids in Jasper to have access to a modern sports facility? Other kids in other communities do. In Jasper, we provide them the best we can, but nobody's going to kid themselves and say that's a modern sports facility over there. It's antiquated, it's old, it's been loved to death, okay? And we keep it going every year, and it's safe and it does a good job, but it could be so much better. And so we're here today to ask you, don't our children deserve something better? Wouldn't it be great if this city could do something big for the children of this community and build a modern youth sports facility in this city? The proposal that we proposed was, I didn't write that. All these people out here and many, many more people that aren't here tonight pitched in. We're giving you, in our proposal, everything we own. And that's scary to us because for 53 years we've been doing it on our own. But in our proposal, we would be giving you everything we own because we want the chance of doing something bigger and better for the kids than we currently do. So, there was one thing in the proposal that's no longer there. The Bledsoe family has been civic-minded in this community for a long time. And when Tommy Bledsoe initially gave us that land, he put a reversionary clause in it where it would come back if we ever ceased owning it. And I called Tommy Bledsoe this week, and he signed a document releasing that reversionary interest, and that frees up the title of that land so that that's no longer a problem. But if there are any other things in this proposal that you have a question about or you don't understand, I'm here to answer those. Because we just got a letter saying we reject your proposal. And we don't know how to respond to that.
Okay, Mr. Stover, thank you. Do we have any questions of the council at this time? Mr. Stover?
Well, I asked a good many questions Tuesday night, and I had a chance to visit with JYBA. And Scott, I appreciate you so very much for coming up here. I think you and Ross and the other members of JYBA have done an excellent job through the years. You know, the resources you've had, you've done a magnificent job. And so many kids have come through this town because, and had some opportunities to do some things because of the kindness of those that have gone before, the time and effort that volunteers put into it, and y'all have done a great job, and I appreciate very much you coming up here tonight. And I'm going to do the best I can to work something out for y'all, to work something out with y'all.
I'm a business lawyer. I don't know how to do anything other than make an offer and wait for a response. And then if y'all have a response, or you say, well, we don't like this and this, we can deal with that. We can sit there and negotiate. But if I just get no response, I've got no way to move forward, and we have to assume that you're not interested and just go on about doing what we're doing. And we will do a good job, but it could be so much more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Stover, may I say this, that just because this council doesn't have any questions right now, they may have some later on.
Thank you.
Mr. Stover, I would like for JYBA to know that, speaking on my behalf as a prior Little League player and the whole 9 yards, it's a good thing. When and if all this does come to pass, and I truly hope it does, I am one that does not want JYBA to take a back seat to what's going on out there. I truly feel like it's gonna be a partnership, it's got to be. And it's gotta be a partnership, it's gotta be a transition, and I think that it is very workable thing that we need to do for our community. Thank you.
Mike, I'd like to make a motion that we have a workshop or a special meeting sometime in January to visit with the JYBA board. If we cannot further this negotiation process, take it down the road a little bit farther.
You've heard the motion made by Councilman McMillan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hobson. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of discussing this further at a January meeting at a time which has not been set but will be scheduled after talking with everyone and finding out what a good time and an amicable time for everyone is. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let the record show it passed unanimous. So it looks like Mr. Stover will be discussing this again with you after January the 1st. I will get with you and we'll try to work out a date that everybody can get together. Just for cause here tonight, would it be better tonight or during the day?
Just personally, in the evening is better for me.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Being
Thank you,
that
Scott.
we have decided to table that to say schedule a workshop on that at a further date, does the council still want to have any consultation with the city's council concerning this?
I think it would be premature for us to go back, because we're not gonna be able to really address anything.
Is that the feeling of the council? Okay, and we'll scratch the executive item, number 10, and we'll be back in touch with you guys. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
Thanks, JYBA.
Thank you.
Okay, we have next item number 2, consider yearly request from Texas Parks and Wildlife requesting the city of Sandy Creek Pond to be closed for fishing from January the 13th through January the 17th to help prevent the trout from being fished out before the youth trout derby scheduled for January the 18th of 2014 from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And council members may recall this was a step that was taken last year at the request of the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Does council have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alton Scott. Any further discussion on that issue? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that the measure passed unanimously. Consider appointing one representative to the Fire Department Pension Board for the 2014-2015 term.
Nominate Raymond Hobson for this position.
I'll second.
Mr. Schofield has made a motion for Raymond Hobson. It has been quickly seconded by Mr. McMillan. Any further discussion on that issue?
I may renege on that one now.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll get back to you further.
If Mr. Hobson doesn't want to, we'll have to get somebody else for him.
Might get Thomas Schofield.
Consider approving Denise Kelly as interim city manager as the Fair Housing Equal Opportunities Section 504 Standards Officer for the city of Jasper. There was some confusion or discussion about this as appointing her to a permanent location. This is only for the purposes of the requirements as set forth by the Housing Authority designation of the Equal Opportunity Fair Housing Officer.
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Schofield, second by Mr. Scott. Any further discussion on this issue? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that the measure passed unanimously. In connection with that, consider the approving of Section 3 Fair Housing Policy Form A-1002 that you find in your Section 5 of the City Council agenda for tonight. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Second. Motion by Mrs. Johnson, a second by Mr. Scott. All those, any discussion on the issue? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that it passed unanimously. Up next, we have item number 6 of the city council agenda, and it is consider approving resolution number 2932, section 3, fair housing excessive force policy. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Scott. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Schofield. Any discussion on this issue? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that the measure passed unanimously. Item number 7, consider approving resale of trust properties in Jasper. And we have the report that has been put forth by Richard King and the others with Linebarger, Cogan, Blair, and Sampson. You see the amounts of properties that are listed there, and also the abstracts or the locations in which they are in. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Johnson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by, who was that?
That's big.
Okay, Tommy Schofield, we'll put you down for the second, and any discussion on that issue? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Let the record show that the measure passed unanimously. Consider and or approve the 2014 list of monthly regular city council meetings. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. McMillan made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hobson. Is there any discussion on this issue? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the measure passed unanimously. Consider and approve the 2014 list of holiday closures for City Hall, which are under City tab at number 9.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion by Mrs. Johnson. We have a second by Alton Scott. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the measure passed unanimously. Under law, there's no other items on the agenda.
Mayor,
We got a truck back.
We've got to spend some money before we leave.
Yeah, the garbage truck. That's cheap paper.
We're gonna start this week off right.
The garbage truck was originally supposed to have been in it was in the 2012 bond money, but when Mr. Borkin and Mr. Limbrick did their calculations, they sort of missed it a little bit on they thought it included both. So they were about $150,000 short. So Mr. Moon has diligently tried over the last year to make it limp and long to keep from having to spend any more money on it. But we've had to spend money on it, and we're still having problems with it. So he just came and said that it's time to retire it. And this is the front load truck that does all our big dumpsters, and it is something that we desperately have to have. So sanitation had borrowed money from the NISCO fund in the past and paid it back on a monthly basis, and they have about 3 months left to pay on it again. And all we will do is do the same thing again. This $150,000, we pay it on a monthly basis back to the NISCO fund. But that would get the bond project and a brand new truck on the road because we don't have backup. So I'm requesting permission to move money from the NISCO fund to finish purchasing the truck for the sanitation department.
We have the money.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be doing that, what road's about 114,000, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to get around that. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Johnson, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Scott. Any further discussion on the issue? Okay, I'll bring forth discussion. This gives us a truck that's capable of handling the dumpsters.
Correct.
Right.
How many does that make that we got to handle the dumpsters?
We have the one, 2008, that they use all the time, then they have a backup, which is on its last leg. So that'll make us 3, but we're gonna get rid of one of them, where we'll have one backup and one brand new.
Okay, and then the regular
The
pickup
sidearm
truck?
truck is only 2 years old and it's in great shape. And we purchased a used backup about 3 months ago. So we're in good shape on the sidearm truck, but the front load is where the problem is. That truck runs every day from 3 in the morning, all day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, but anyway, the better truck will keep it for a backup.
Correct.
Good
Yes.
deal.
Can you get anything for that other one?
No, They didn't even want it as a trade.
Salvage.
They didn't want it as a trade-in, you know, I tried to get some money for a trade-in to lower the initial price, they didn't want it.
Y'all need to understand, Jody gets all he can get.
Cut the whole across the hill.
He can
He
stretch
does.
it.
He
Yeah.
gets
It's just
all he can get.
all so
out
much
of
garbage,
it.
the body's thin on it,
Yeah.
it's just worn out, it's got $10,500.
And council should be advised that it's kind of like the best made plans of mice and men. No matter what they do, there was one day here, last year or so, that none of the regular truck and the backup truck was out.
And we have a working relationship with the city of Newton,
Yes.
but even
Their
their truck broke
trucks
down,
are not
our
like
truck,
ours.
we went to them, broke down, so we were both cities were in poor condition for garbage.
It can just happen so easy. So we have a motion, we have a second, all those in favor of purchasing the truck, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show that the measure passed unanimously. No other items that can be legally discussed or voted on the agenda, we stand adjourned at this time, 6:26 PM Central Standard Time.